We're on.
Okay, well, we'll back up just a little bit and see if we can fill in the gap. We're not sure exactly. If somebody will give us a text and let us know if we're back on.
We're back
I
on.
think we are, but
refresh.
so we're gonna back on up a little bit, and people can refresh. I guess if you did refresh and you've got some team members on, you might shoot them a quick text. But we're gonna record this, and we're gonna try to make sure that it's available to you. We're talking a little bit about preparation, and so just to kind of back up a little bit. Not sure exactly when we got knocked off. We lost our internet, but just want to talk a little bit about the preparation piece of it. Knowing what's on that DVD, knowing the sequence that you're going to use as you're doing your mixer, and also, the reason that you want to know what's on that DVD is because you may be talking to someone before the mixer starts, and you may hear something, and you may be able to make a connection for that person with somebody on the DVD, and that's always a good thing. But if you don't know what's on your DVD, if you don't know the stories on that DVD, the weight loss stories or the business stories, then it's very difficult to make those connections. So understand that's why you want to know what's on the DVD. That's why you want to know what's in the magazine. The mixer format is set for you. Mm-hmm. So there's not a lot that you don't have to reinvent that wheel like Karen was talking about. Also, remember that it's part of it is professionalism. You want to be concise and clear about the message of Advocare. You want people to, for the new guy, you want people to understand that you're going to have a great time. They're going to hear some good stories, but there's also, we're going to start on time and we're going to end on time. The house. It doesn't matter if you have a big house or a small house. What's important is that whether it's big or small, that it's clean, that there's some order to the house. That during the mixer, people are able to. I just saying it's the same thing. They just said we lost y'all.
I'll take that time to refresh. Just keep talking.
Okay. So understand that's what's important, and what's important is that things are in order and clean, and that if you've got products, that you've got your spark out on the table, that people are seeing the fruits of your labor with this company, with this business. So pets, kiddos, we're very blessed to be able to work this business out of our homes, and we had children as we were building our business. But understand that during a mixer, people are there to really hear about Advocare. They're there to see the stories, to kind of hear the stories, and that you don't want there to be distractions. And a baby's always going to win out. And we've learned that.
Cuter than us.
Yeah, they're cuter than we are. So we've learned that the hard way. But just know that it's important, and if anything that you can do up front and plan and take care of those things, anything that you can do up front to alleviate those issues, the better your mixer will go, and the easier it will flow for you.
Yep, absolutely. Okay, let me walk through just a couple of things about a mixer. And we're not teaching exactly how to do a mixer tonight because we have that mixer tab and we have that mixer format, and you are going to watch your leader a couple of times, but these are just things we want to talk to you about so that you just understand how easy it is to get out there and start doing them. When you are doing a mixer, just think in terms of, in general, what is my biggest role here? Well, up front, you're sharing the purpose of the mixer with people. You're just letting them know we're excited about tonight. In Advocare, we do two things. We help people look better and feel better, and we help people make money. And you have lots of options here, so you're going to show the 4 relationships up front. And then from there, it's just simply a matter of with relaxed intensity. Okay, relaxed intensity means that it's a strong message, that there's passion behind it, that you're not just robotically going through it, but that you have a heartfelt passion for your message. But it's relaxed. You're not forcing anybody to do anything. You're just excited that they know and that they're hearing what's possible. That's when you're going to share the message of Advocare through that DVD. During the mixer, you're sharing the stories. Never underestimate the power of the stories that are in the room. So we use the stories on the DVD, but do your homework. Make sure that you know who the guests are. But when I'm doing a mixer, if I don't know the guests while I'm chatting with people, I'm saying, have you already been on products? Oh, tell me about that. Because then when I go to do stories in the room, I already know that there's a person sitting there that's had results. And so you just remember that. Okay, and remember, there's a lot of power in the news stories. Because if you've got new guests there and they hear that somebody's been on product 18 days and they've already lost 7 pounds or something like that, that captures their attention. If you've got a new distributor in the room and you know that they have already sold part of their advisor order and they've only been doing Advocare for a week and a half, coach them up on that. Make sure that when you do the business testimonies, you say, you know, Kelly, why don't you tell everybody what happened to you on your first day in the business? And Kelly knows that she's able to say, I actually earned $345 my first mixer. That's powerful. So you've got to know that those stories are really what matters after you've walked through who Advocare is with the DVD. And then just keep the word vision in your mind. The more you do mixers, the better you'll be at this. But your whole job is simply to cast vision about the people in the room. It's not about only what you are excited about with Advocare. Always bring it back to their lives. So as you're looking and you're casting vision about what the company does, you're talking about that new guest in the room and about the possibilities of vacations for their family or the possibilities of et cetera, you know, you're stepping through, here's what could happen for you. And you want to be able to do that. And here's what happens. In a mixer, this might be the biggest tip you get all night for those of you who are able to refresh your computers. So important. You're not, as you do this mixer, looking for and focused on the people who don't seem to be capturing the message. Your eyeballs, and this is what Andy and I have always done in mixers, we're looking for that person where we can literally see the hope rising up in them. We can see their body language as they're leaning in, as they're smiling, as their eyes are getting bigger. We can see it happening during a mixer. That's who you're focused on. Okay, because when you start seeing that happen for somebody, it's an aha moment that something you've said has changed their perspective or opened up their eyes to what else Advocare has to offer. Because a lot of people step into a mixer knowing something about Advocare, but it's those people who say afterwards, I had no idea that it had this much to offer, or this was exactly what I was looking for, but I didn't know it was the Advocare. And so that's the whole idea of these mixers. Now, something else that always, always, always needs to happen during a mixer is that you're showing the money and you're showing the advisor. You're showing how we earn income, all of the ways, and you're showing advisor. And then it just ends with, where do you see yourself? You know, that's where you're starting to pull out of people. Where do you see yourself fitting in here? What is it that we just showed you that can help you and your family? And you're closing out business at the end. You're not thanking people and saying goodbye. You're letting them know, here's what we do next. Now that we're all finished, here's what we're going to do. We're going to sit down if you're interested in products and help you get started. If you're interested in making money with Advocare, we're going to sit with you and get a plan for advisor, help you get to advisor tonight. And then always remember, another part of the mixer is simply the fact that you should have a what's next on your calendar, so that you're always letting people that are sitting there realize, if you know people and you thought, who do you know that would want to know about this? Here's what we have next on the calendar, and you're trying to get them to commit to coming with somebody or doing a mixer in their living room. Now, before we close up, I do want to talk to you a little bit about getting people to mixers, because that seems to be the biggest frustration for new distributors, is that I can't seem to get people to come. And typically it's just a matter of tweaking what they're doing. Okay, so we want to be able to help you with that. Remember, when you're inviting someone to a mixer, it's not really about inviting as much as promoting the mixer. It's about letting people know, hey, come see what's happening for people on these products and what could happen for you too. Come see how Advocare could help you make money for your family through these great products. Keep it that simple. You're just the preview to this, okay? If you explain everything, then they already know enough about Advocare, they don't feel like they need to come, okay? The other thing is, it's not a meeting to give them information. You don't want to, no one wants to go to an information meeting. People are busy. They don't want to go to a vitamin party. They're busy. They want to come find out what's possible for them. So that's why you want to use those key phrases. Now, the other thing is, just write this down in your journal. The way you get people to mixers is with verbal communication. Okay, verbal communication. Mass emails, mass texts, and mass Facebooks will not get you people at your mixer, and it may even begin to have people want to avoid the verbal communication once you decide to do that, okay? Because that doesn't feel special to anyone. It feels just like what it is, just a mass communication to everybody and anybody to tell them to, invite them to come. What you want to do instead is think of who you know, pick up the phone and call them and let them know that you're excited about AdvoCare and that you want them to come find out how it could help them too. Okay, so if you've already done the mass emails or the mass Facebooks or the mass texting, this is a long haul business and no mistake is going to make or break your business, but you don't want to do that again. You got to trust us on this. This business is about verbal communication, especially to get somebody to an event. Think about how you would feel if somebody sent you a mass invitation. Would you feel as if they had something so special and they thought of you specifically? No, you wouldn't, and that's why they don't work. They're just not effective, okay? So instead, what you want to do is pick up the phone and call. The other key is you don't want to say to them, I do these every week, so if you can't come this week, come another time. The event you're having is the most important event at that moment, so you're promoting it as that. You just got to come to this one and find out more about what this could do for you and how you could make money for your family. Okay, so again, even if you have a plan to do mixers every week, that's not the way you invite people to it. It's one event at a time.
Right, and just think of it like this. A lot of people, when they do the blast, the media blast, what would happen if everybody showed up? So if you're sending this out to 50 people or 60 people, you couldn't have that many people in your home anyway. It not only doesn't make sense from a perspective of not that many people are gonna say yes, but it doesn't make sense for them either. When you pick up the phone, like Karen said, and you say, hey, I'm calling you for a very specific reason, and you can relate to them how this opportunity may benefit them, what's in it for them, what's in it for that person. That's when you can get a commitment. Yes, I'll be there. Or they may ask a few questions, and again, you just want to be the preview to this movie. You just want to let people know, that's why it's important for them to come and bring a friend. Two sets of eyes is always better than one.
Yeah, absolutely. Y'all, if anybody hung on and you want to text us any questions, please feel free. We're not sure if this worked. We're getting a lot of texts. We have a storm. We lost our internet, so.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, yeah. So anyway, but 281-844-4591 if you have any questions and you want to text us.
Awesome.
So hang on. Yep, thunderstorm, we lost our internet. And you know what, we're not going to hang up yet because last week the text came in a little bit late.
We can also.
My sister's texting me. I love you, Kathy. Yay, she's going to do more mixers. Anybody else?
Guys, we'll give it just another minute or two. Karen, you want to talk a little bit about some things that some people may say to get somebody to this last sheet that we talked about, to get people to a mixer, just some. No, okay.
Yeah, just keep it really simple. Use the word money. Hey, I want you to come find out how people are making money with AdvoCare. Let's see, word choices you are using are fabulous. Okay, good. Yeah, word choices, guys, you'll find your own, but the simpler you keep it, the better. And just remember that if you talk about come find out more about, la la la, people aren't going to want that. It's simply about the passion and, hey, you know what? People are making money with this company through these great products. You've been loving the products. I want you to come see how you could be making money for your family too. Or come see what's happening with people on products and what could happen for you too. And then just say, will you come? Okay.
Here's a question. For those of us who don't work in a gym or own a gym, is it okay to walk into gyms and try and introduce AdvoCare? That's the first question. Absolutely, it is. Here's the key to that. You want to be prepared for one thing. So you want to have a good business packet together, and you can contact us and we'll tell you what all would go in a business packet. But you want to be able to answer some questions. The second thing, you want to make sure that you're talking in it. When you walk in, you want to make sure that you're talking to the person that's actually going to be making the decision. And if that person is not there, then you want to maybe find out when the best time to come back and sit down with that person might be. So definitely it's okay. It's a cold call. I mean, it's and whether it's a gym or whether it's a spa or whether it's a chiropractor's office, you know, you're going to be talking about an additional stream of income to help them pay the bills for that business. And for Jim, it just happens to be a good fit because we've got some great products for that. But it's also a great fit for a chiropractor's office. It's a great fit for a massage therapist. It's a great fit for a lot of different businesses, hair salons, just a lot of different businesses. The key is preparation. The key with almost anything that we do here is going to be being prepared when you're talking to somebody to have the right information for them. And so for a gym owner, it's always going to be, what's the profit margin going to be, and who would I market this to, and how would I do that? And you're just going to ask a few key questions. Are they already selling supplements there? And is there a relationship with somebody inside the gym? Because that's always a good way to get in as well.
And I'm going to, just before he goes on to the next question, we got lots of questions tonight, which is great. If you are new, cold calling is not the way you build your business. Okay, so sometimes when we're new, we are afraid to go to our list and to talk to the people that we know. And so instead we go and cold call. And just so you know, it's not going to be effective because you don't have the message inside of you yet. You don't have the experience yet. So when you face a gym owner, now you're not prepared to talk to him in a way that's going to, really share the message correctly. And we've seen that before. We have people on our team who, when they got introduced to Advocare and said yes, later somebody else said, well, I went to that gym and I left my business card and I tried to tell them about it. But see, that was a new distributor cold calling and just trying and leaving cards. Well, the gym owner wasn't listening until their friend called them up and did the relationship introduction. So cold calling's okay as you've gone through your warm market list, as you have experience, and now you're just looking for more ways to get business. That's great. And we don't mind anybody going out there and trying anything that's going to get them business, but we want you to have a high level of success. And the beginning is all about the people you know.
Second part of the question was, if a business owner wants to set up an Advocare display in their store, no matter what the business is that okay? Well, as long as it meets Advocare's requirements, and one of those requirements is that there aren't other nutritional supplements on that shelf or in that store, because that's not something that, and we can talk a little bit about the specifics, but the other thing is that somebody in that store, that facility, needs to be a distributor, because Advocare products, they can't talk for themselves. And the fact is that Advocare products need somebody. The reason that we are able to earn an income here is because we put life and we put the message into the products. Our products are guaranteed, so we want to make sure that our products just aren't up on a shelf with a bunch of other products, and because then nobody knows what the difference is. We're not there, or a distributor's not there to bring life to our products and talk about why our products are better than the one sitting next to it. One of the requirements of Advocare is that we don't put our products in stores on a shelf with other products, other companies' products. So that's why the person that sent this question, that's why they ask about the gym. Gyms are pretty specific like that, especially the smaller gyms. You can get great success stories in gyms because a gym, they can put all of our products and just carry one line. We've got great signature lines, and it works well for them. But for any kind of business, a Stop and Go or a U-Totem, an example would be that if there's a big display of that 5-hour energy drink there, whatever brand it may be, we couldn't put a box of Slam next to it. Right. That would not be appropriate, and it wouldn't meet Advocare's guidelines. Right. So there's some specifics to that. You just have to do a little bit of research on that. We can help you with that. Okay. Here's one. Question: how do you handle it if you have several guests show up at your mixer and you want to follow up with all? Oh, never mind, I got it.
Okay, here's one from, okay, can you give us some word choices to close a mixer and ask for the sale at the end to encourage action? This is a great question because your mixer should be producing product sales. It should be producing new distributors. That's the point of a mixer, or booking more mixers. Okay, those are the 3 areas that you want to get results in. And you have to have a call to action at the end. One of the things that we like to do is at the beginning, when we show the 4 options, we say, after you hear all that we have to offer with AdvoCare, at the end, you're going to know where you fit in, and you're going to know which one of these can help you in your life, or something like that. So then at the end of the mixer, you can take that board or the back of the magazine again and say, you know, now it's decision time, or it's time to take action, or right now I'm sure you're sitting there knowing exactly which one of these options excites you. And so you want to close up the mixer pointing back to those relationships. But also remember to cast vision, okay? And a lot of times when you cast vision, you're really asking who sees themselves fitting into that. So what you can say is, you know, after you've heard this great message, what excites us is that we know some of you are sitting there and want more out of life. And we're looking for those type of people. We're looking for those of you who, after you heard this tonight, you're ready. You're ready for change. You're ready to get healthy, and we're going to get you started on products if that's you. You're ready to earn income for your families. You have some things that you desire that now you see AdvoCare can help you with, and we're going to help you get started tonight. So, you know, these are the kind of statements where you're letting them know, here's what we're going to do next. If you're interested in products, we want you to go to this side of the room, or the person that invited you can help you get started tonight. They're going to match your goals, and you just let them know if you want to be retail or if you want one of those great discounts, and they'll get you started. But if you're interested in earning income, if you're interested in vacations with your children, if you're somebody who saw the big picture and you want to be a leader and earn income that can build wealth for your family, we're looking for those people that we can start tonight and help them tonight. And so those are the kind of words you want to use. What you want to avoid is, thank you, we're so glad you came. You know, there's nothing there that will produce any action. And sometimes when you're new, you feel a little awkward, and that's all you say. Okay, so it's all about the call to which part of what you saw tonight do you see yourself fitting into? How can we help you get started tonight? So that, you know, that's how I would be closing a mixer.
One thing that used to work well for us is that, it's like Karen said, if you guys are interested in products, you know, go in the kitchen and say Andy will help you get started on products. He's going to match your goals to the products to your goals. If you're interested in the business, stay in here. I'll answer any of the questions as far as how we get paid and how we earn income, or how you might want to get to the 25% level, or if you want to get to that advisor level, we can show you exactly. We've got a couple of copies of some orders here that might help you out, and we're going to take care of the business end of it right here. And so you're telling people, you give them the option. You're also, the other thing is, you're thanking people. And if there's nothing that anybody wants there, well, then you're going to give them the opportunity to leave with their dignity. But if somebody wants to hear about products in the kitchen, somebody wants to stay and hear more about the business or ask questions from the business side of this, how we earn income, then we're going to take care of that right here. And so that's just things that people walk away, even if nobody, that person that leaves, they walk out the door knowing that this meeting started on time. It ended on time. They told me that there was not going to be a big pressure thing. They've let me walk out the door. I heard the message of AdvoCare. That seed's been planted in them, and if they get home and that spark kicks in, you know, because we know we're gonna give them a good spark, you know, for the mixer, then they'll be very comfortable with coming back to us a little bit later on, or for the next meeting, or they'll make the phone call the next day and say, hey, you know what? I didn't really have time to stick around, but I do want to know more about the business. I do want to know more about the products. But it's key that we do what we say we're going to do when we do these mixers. And so
Yeah.
as we run along
Absolutely.
on ours.
But I hope that helps. And that was a really good question, because remember, we've got to have a call to action at the end. We've got to say to people, here's what we do next. And there's got to be vision involved. You've got to help people see themselves in what we do in AdvoCare. And you've got to let them know we want to help them. We want them to be a part of this. So those are key. Greg is asking, can you do a sample invite call? And you know, one of the things about that is it's going to be a little bit hard to do one sample, because it depends on who you're calling. In other words, there's a lot of people that you're inviting to a mixer that have already been on product. They've already had a few layers of conviction. Maybe you've done some product follow-up with them and they're getting great results. You know, maybe you're inviting someone who has said they have a few people that are interested. It may be someone that you haven't told much about AdvoCare yet. So it depends on what the person and who the person is. But a couple things to know is that when you do call somebody and you're inviting them, the most important thing is when you call them to say, hey, listen, I'm calling for a reason. And this is great wording, so you might want to just put these word choices down. Hey, John, I'm calling for a reason. Is this a good or a bad time to be calling? Okay, and if you ask that specifically like that, then if it's a bad time, you won't be inviting him to something so important as this mixer to you when he's distracted and he's not listening. So is this a good or a bad time to be calling? And then just say, listen, I'm calling for a reason. And that's when you're just going to have to, depends on what exposure they've already had, but basically you're just saying, I'm having some people over to the house on Tuesday night, and we're going to be going over what's happening for people in AdvoCare and how you could earn some money for your family, or how these great products, I know they're working for you now, and I want you to see more about what this company has to offer. Will you come? And you want to keep it that simple, okay? It's always important to have the word money in that invitation, because that's what's going to get somebody out of their house, okay? You know, a little bit differently if it's a 24-day challenge kickoff, but for a regular mixer, that's what you want to be asking.
Jason went offline again.
Okay.
I don't know if it's.
I think we're live still. Okay. And Maribel asked, how do you go up to people in stores who can use the product, but you don't want to offend them because they're overweight? You know, that's really just a simple matter of you're not going up to them because they're overweight. The 3-foot rule is the 3-foot rule. You've got to be open, friendly, and just chat with people. And again, if you're brand spanking new, it's about your warm market. But as you're expanded and you know about AdvoCare and you're just taking along life with you, what you have to do is make a friend. Okay, so if you're talking to them about other things and you're just visiting with somebody and you're smiling and you're asking them how they are, and you know, AdvoCare will come up naturally if you continue to do that and you just find an opening. But most of the time it's going to be about energy. Okay, so you know, you might talk about energy and just say you have this great stuff, and you sample them a Spark like you know how to do. Have you ever heard of Spark? Have you ever heard of AdvoCare? But just talk energy. And again, remember, it's not just about someone being overweight, right? AdvoCare is so much more than that. So when you're chatting with them, you know, about other things, it may have nothing to do with the weight. It may be money before weight. So just remember, it's about making a friend, asking questions. There is something called FORM: family, occupation, recreation, and then the message of AdvoCare. So if you're asking people and listening and just, you know, responding with another question about just their life, the message of AdvoCare naturally fits in, usually after you've really cared and listened about something.
Okay, last one here. If a distributor has used the Impact, I'm just assuming it's the Impact magazine, for invitations into mixers, 3-way phone calls, etc., and also talk to family members, but can't seem to get people to say yes, what do you suggest?
I suggest you talk to your leader, okay, and let your leader listen to what you're doing with those things. Let your leader listen, and you're really just going to have to be open and, you know, really go over some specific examples of those people, so that we can maybe hear and listen, or your leader can listen to what's going on. Because most of the time it's simply maybe a little bit of over talking, over explaining, you know, there's just some things, but that's so specific that it would be best to help or coach you up on what's going on with your situations. And the second part also. Okay, and I hope that helps. So just call your leader, okay? Because sometimes it is a matter of maybe what's going on with your own influence or with the things that you're saying or not saying, okay? All right, and Brenda says it went out. You guys, this is probably on our internet in a storm. But again, form. She just said that we went black. So if somebody missed form, it's family, occupation, recreation, and then the message. You ask enough questions and listen and keep just conversational, you'll find something in the things that light them up, the things that excite them, and then the message of Advocare makes sense. I think we're going to say goodnight, okay, because it's past 9:30. God bless you guys. We'll see you next week.